An Indiana public school is now facing a lawsuit after one of its teachers punished a 7-year-old boy for not believing in God. Now, keep in mind, we're supposed to have a separation of church and state in this country, and public schools are not supposed to endorse any particular type of religion, which is why this lawsuit was brought about. Now, let me give you the details about what happened. According to the lawsuit obtained by the Washington Post, second-grade teacher Michelle Myer interrogated the student, who was identified with the initials AB, about his religious beliefs after he told his classmates on the playground that he did not go to church because he did not believe in God. Miss Myer asked AB if he had told the girl that he did not believe in God, and AB said he had and asked what he had done wrong. Miss Myer asked AB if he went to church, whether his family went to church, and whether his mother knew how he felt about God. She also asked AB if he believed that maybe God exists. So things got really bad after the interrogation when the teacher decided that it would probably be best to punish him by not letting him sit with other students. So for 3 days, he was forced to sit and eat lunch by himself, and he would come home and cry because he didn't understand what was going on. Remember, this is a 7-year-old, okay? So you're not having a philosophical conversation with an adult. You're having a conversation with a 7-year-old. And also, on top of that, even if you are highly religious, no one should even give a shit about that because you're in a public school and you shouldn't be pushing one type of religion or another. This story makes me so angry. So on the day of the incident and for an additional 2 days thereafter, Miss Myer required that AB sit by himself during lunch and told him he should not talk to other students and stated that this was because he had offended them. So
this is just so tragic because children at this age are so impressionable.
Yes.
And you're just starting to form opinions but you don't have the mental faculty to really understand what it is that's coming out of your mouth half the time.
Right.
And to ostracize a child for a belief like this that, again, is so it's just a fresh thought that is not baked, you know? And he's had no time to do that is just going to be extremely traumatic for him. I mean, I think these 3 days will resonate in his life for years to come.
Yeah.
His or her.
What always gets me about church-going people as a Christian is how they want to all of a sudden start to bully or to make someone feel bad who doesn't believe what they believe. And it gets me, and especially when you start doing that to children, to anyone, period. Yeah. The whole point of religion and spirituality is about love. That's the core of it. And so if you see a child that says, I don't believe in your God, your reaction should be, I still love you, and be around these other people who love and support you.
And the conversation shouldn't have even happened,
exactly.
right?
No, clearly, that's the main thing. We all know that. The conversation is stupid. Like, this shouldn't even been happening, and she should have been fired. This should be done. But it just gets me at the core, for any Christians or people or Catholics or anyone, your job is to support and love. That's what it is.
You're right about that. And also keep in mind that we're already having a really big problem with grade school kids getting bullied by their peers.
By their peers.
We don't need them to be bullied by educators. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened here. Forcing him to eat by himself and ostracizing him like this sends a message not only to him, but also to other students that it's okay to behave in this way, that it's okay to exclude someone who might have beliefs that differ from yours. Yeah. This teacher should not be a public school teacher. She should be fired from the public school system.
Absolutely.
And if she wants to go teach at some fundamentalist Christian church, then please go ahead and do what you want to do. But don't spread your message of hate in a public school like this, especially among 7-year-olds.
I always think about WWJD, you know, that's this, like, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus put a 7-year-old child in, like, full-on, create a social pariah situation?
That's exactly the point.
Absolutely not.
That's what gets me always with people who are religious. It's something I've experienced just in my own personal life of just saying, like, if you are saying that you really believe in this doctrine and you believe in God and you believe in Jesus and whomever, like, I don't understand how so much hate comes out of your mouth. Because I told you this, and my child is an atheist, and he is probably one of the most loving people, caring, giving people I've ever met. And I've never heard hate or you're wrong, you're less than, you're evil come out of his mouth. But then you have people who say they believe in God, who I go to church with, who I'm trying to defend, who say just that. Yeah, and of course, it's not all, but...
Right, and it's absolutely the sort of conversation that it just shouldn't be broached at public school. So
fire her.
I mean, I would, if I were an administrator there, she'd be gone.
Yeah.
I should be gone. I mean,
It's a real abuse of power.
Exactly.
And the parents, they need to all band together and say this woman needs to go. Whether you believe in Christianity or not, you need to see that a child was bullied by this teacher, and all the parents there should say, no, she needs to go.
Absolutely.
Because what happens when that's your kid?
And I mean, and just to be clear, like, she may not be Christian. She could be Jewish. She could be whatever monotheistic,
of course.
Religion you can think of, or like multi-deity, whatever. Obviously, this woman clearly was bothered by the fact that a 7-year-old hadn't totally figured out what he thought about the universe.
Yeah.
And,
And this would be a national outrage if she were a Muslim teacher. And
Completely.
she said, and she
National outrage.
Exactly. So this is ridiculous, and I hate that this is happening in our public schools, especially with right-wingers who will make the argument that education indoctrinates kids to liberal ideology. No, you're just projecting. You guys use education to indoctrinate kids. That's exactly what's happening here.